Hi guys, my introduction to horror came in about the early 80s if I remember correctly, just sitting on the floor. For some reason my mum and dad were watching Poltergeist and it just happened to be at the bit with the clown under the bed sort of thing, the doll, ready to grab the boy with the fear of the clown doll sort of thing, the Ronald McDonald kind of fear sort of thing of clowns. And yeah, there was that and Alien as well, the first Alien. Again, it was just being shown in the background, and I just happened to like walking at the chest burster scene, and I thought to myself, if I always thought it was something that, because I didn't see the whole film and I didn't understand it, I used to actually think it was something that John Hurt actually ate or drunk at the time, because that's what he was doing. They was all doing around the table in Alien and Outer Space, the 1979 version. And I thought to myself, oh my god, I don't want to eat or anything after that or drink, but of course you got to eat and drink. But as a kid, these are quite scary because these were re-shown on TV and stuff like that, especially over the years, and it just brings that fear at the end of the day of just the unknown and these iconic scenes sort of thing. But the films I did grow up on, I've got a little bit of a list here, are The Return of Godzilla from 1984. And I love this film. It recently came out on DVD and Blu-ray, but only in the USA. And I just think it's a great Godzilla film. And it introduced me to Godzilla in the 80s. Especially the volcano scene, which I won't give away. There's a few volcano scenes, but there's one in particular in there which I ended up having a dream about, and I remember talking about it to my friends the next day in school sort of thing, and they happened to have seen the same sort of film, and it happened to be that film, the American version of Godzilla, The Return of Godzilla in Godzilla 1985 with the Raymond Burr version. And yeah, it's just strange. I remember having a dream about that volcano scene in The Return of Godzilla, and for some reason it struck a chord. Maybe because I watched it or subconsciously watched it sort of thing. And it was an iconic scene for me, I thought, and I always loved the film since. We've got Mr. Vampire as well. Mr. Vampire I first watched in 1990 on Channel 4. It was recorded over Christmas time. Jonathan Ross was introducing a Chinese ghost story season. And Mr. Vampire stood out with its comedy, action and horror. Great film, known as a classic. Spawned a series, spawned many spin-offs in Hong Kong and in China, and it's just one of those films that kind of comes quite timeless sort of thing. And Mr. Vampire, I would recommend as being a iconic horror vampire series where the vampires hop and hold their arms out in the Eastern culture, which it's a classic. It's definitely a classic, and it's a cult classic more than anything, and I think it did influence a few Western films there and there, probably, in a cult type way of, it was definitely a popular culture thing in the East, in China, where there were many spin-offs, there were many sequels. Not all brilliant or anything like that, but compared to the first Mr. Vampire film, the culture, the hopping vampire, was something that was quite amazing, I thought. So, Mr. Vampire. Curse of the Demon / Night of the Demon from 1957. A British black and white cult film. If you've seen Drag Me to Hell, it shares a very similar story where I think Sam Raimi was influenced by Curse of the Demon / Night of the Demon. It is a classic. It is a good film. It is a thriller. There is a mystery aspect to it and everything, where an American comes to England and doesn't believe in a supernatural or curses which gets put upon him, and where throughout the film he's being stalked by an unknown force sort of thing. Curse of the Demon is a great film. I do recommend it. It did finally come out onto Region 2. It's from an M.R. James story called Casting the Runes. Transformers the movie 1986. That's a brilliant film. I'm actually going to see that being shown on the big screen again, but I can't say where or anything like that. But it's going to be somewhere. Transformers the movie 1986. Great animated cartoon giant advertisement sort of thing, if you say it. I first saw it on cinema with my brother and with me next brother up and my dad in 1986, so lucky enough to see it on cinema, and I'm looking forward to going and see it again. Transformers the movie could be a complicated film to follow. This was like way before Michael Bay was doing the remakes and the retellings and the reboots sort of thing. But I do like Transformers the movie, the soundtrack, the animation to it, the characters, good versus evil sort of thing, and the celebrity cast members as for doing the voices in the film, like Judd Nelson, Orson Welles, late Leonard Nimoy, and well, a lot of them have passed on since then, basically. And Transformers the movie, yeah, you got the touch, you got the power. And finally, we're going to be looking at another favourite film of mine, which will be This Is Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap is a great film. It's a mockumentary. It came out, I think it was 1981, 1982, something along the lines of that. And it's a comedy. And it's about three aging rockers who have ups and downs on the road. There's many jokes in the film. I think it is actually based upon real band events from rock bands from over the years, and apparently the likes of Ozzy Osbourne, it could be anyone, any big rocker that actually watched the film and actually thought it was real in some sense, even though it's a mockumentary, but it could possibly relate to the ups and downs of the band on the road with girlfriends, not finding the stage sort of thing. And it's a classic because it's like three Americans basically in a band playing British people. And Spinal Tap, if you haven't seen This Is Spinal Tap, then I do recommend you check it out sooner rather than later, because it is, again, considered a classic. I'm showing my age with these films and stuff like that. I'm 37 now. Yep, 37. And they're all great films, so check them all out, and I shall see you all soon. Goodbye, good night.